that I hadn't already said yesterday regarding this whole Russia-Ukraine situation. I think for me, at least, the fascinating thing has been watching people's blue check marks, particularly on social media, just have bad take after just terrible take. But that's to be expected. Much of that coming from the authoritarian left and how it is that they feel about things. There were people that were naive enough to think that there wouldn't be some sort of advancement or, let's say, conflict surrounding Ukraine with Biden becoming president because, hey, now, I don't know, the mean tweets are gone away and that's what starts the wars, mean tweets or whatever. But when you understand who's in office and Joe Biden, and you understand he was VP, what was that, around 2014, when basically it's just hilarious and rich how the U.S. could ever try to say that someone or another country shouldn't be involved in another country and their affairs when that's literally what they did in Ukraine in 2014 under Barack Obama. Some people forgot about that, but your VP is now, the VP that was the VP then is now the president of the United States. There was already conflict happening up until then. I think the surprising element, if there is to be one, is that people, or Putin rather, has said, fuck it. Now, of course, there's more than that meets the eye, and I will continue to have the stance that ain't got shit to do with us. In this geographical area and this whole world policing thing, if you should have known by the last 20 or so years that this is not a strategy that works. However, this whole deterrence thing, which I thought was hilarious, blue check marks, we'll go through some of these tweets here in a little bit. It's fascinating, let's say that so many blue check marks, people on social media, placed a set of, and they've done this with the Middle East, well, they placed their set of like standards, more so it's more morals and ethics, and what it is that they value and what it is that they care about. They placed that shit and that set of expectation on the world. And it's an arrogant, narcissistic way to view things, but it's particularly stupid because as you care about this, and that, diversity, your military and all this other bullshit, countries around the world who are pieces of shit as well as far as their governments, who have every intention on expanding their little empires or whatever it is, they look at you as weak motherfuckers. That's just the bottom line. So all that shit that y'all care about, they don't give a shit about. And they act accordingly. That's just more so what it is that you're seeing, I think right now. This idea with Biden, we have a respectful president again because he's not sending mean tweets, and this means that all the world's gonna respect us and everybody's gonna pipe down. And I'm like, dog, you're in a whole another dimension. These people don't abide by your set of standards and your set of morals and ethics. That's not how they operate. Don't give a shit about none of that y'all talking about. Don't give a shit about none of that. This just showed how emboldened they actually are, considering the world it is that we live in, and definitely the state of fucking America. Nonetheless, this ain't got nothing to do with us. The things that will impact us are all self-inflicted wounds. And that's what we talked about in yesterday's show when you had the media gaslighting, talking about, well, these inflation issues and all that is because of fucking the Ukraine-Russian thing. And I'm like, no. Even the ones that you try to pin on it, which is like Russia exporting oil or something, that's all in self-inflicted wound, because there are plenty of energy opportunities that in any given country in Europe, as well, in countries in Europe as well, but particularly in America, that have been stifled, be it nuclear or even oil. And all these laws and rules that are now in place because, hey, my climate and all of that stuff, which there's no reason for a geographical area that is this big to be dependent on the energy usage or getting energy from other countries. It makes no fucking sense, especially considering just where we're at. Like geographically, it makes no sense, but this is where we're already at. However, the important thing to note is that that's still a self-inflicted wound. That was something that is you're seeing the brunt of, or you will see the brunt of, because of your government's inaction, and this isn't anything that started yesterday. But these inflationary issues, which is what we talked about yesterday, a lot of those stem from, again, self-inflicted fucking wounds that were outside of the Russian-Ukrainian deal. And until those get addressed, you're going to continue to have the problems it is that you have. I have seen a bunch of people itching to get in the war because, yes, it's the world police thing, Ukraine, sovereign, oh, here we come, here we go again. We should be getting involved, watching countries, people of the different countries around the world that will say America's a piece of shit, they hate America, blah, 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 laugh at you, all that shit. And then when it comes down to it, they certainly want America's men and women, or not men and women, more so men and young boys to be sent over there to fight whatever fucking war that they in. It's funny how that always fucking works. And when you consider these defense pacts that America's entered in with a lot of these countries, hell, half of them don't got any fucking protection for the most part anyway, because they entirely depend on fucking America. And this is why you have America being in the situation that it has been historically, and it's playing fucking world police. There's one take that I particularly wanted to get in as all of these blue check marks start to cope with this, because remember, this wasn't supposed to happen. This type of conflict was not supposed to happen, because now we have a respectful president. And it happened, and now these blue check marks are trying to cope with that idea, and they're trying to find what angle to take. And it's been fascinating to watch that develop. Cenk Uygur, who is a fucking retard, of the Young Turks. And this is what he had to say. He says, right wing doesn't love Putin just because he's an authoritarian. So they're assuming that, or rather this person is operating as if the quote unquote right wing loves Putin. Not sure where he got that information from, but let's just consider it true. Because Cenk Uygur said it. Tyrannical leader. They love him because he's a white authoritarian leader. Race has become more important than even nationality. They've turned, well, first of all, y'all made that. Y'all have done that, by the way, particularly the authoritarian left. They've turned on democracy, which isn't a bad thing, by the way, and now even America in favor of a white warlord. And I saw a couple of tweets centered around this with retards. Again, goes back to the set of standards that aren't necessarily abide by the rest of the world, but they don't have anything else. You have to look at, this has been in part of their playbook since really 2014-ish, where it's just race. So they have to have that angle. And even if it doesn't fit or doesn't make any fucking sense, this is all that they have. You're dealing with very fucking stupid people. So they have to grasp onto some. Okay, we fucked up. What we thought was going to happen didn't happen. We thought Biden was going to be so uber powerful and strong that none of this was ever going to happen. My racism. That's it. It's my racism. That's the card that we're going to pull. It's been fascinating to watch these crackheads do this shit. But on a serious note, for those of you, no matter what side of the world, or the country, that you're on, do you guys really want to be getting in another conflict that doesn't really have an ending? For all you know, what ends up happening out of this, we end up being at war in a country that had nothing to do with this or the wrong people. We did that for a bit there as well. I understand, and I think two things can be true. And this is the part that a lot of warmongering pieces of shit don't seem to understand. Two things can be true. Yes, Russia can be the aggressor. Russia can be, in whatever efforts it is that they do, much like China, can be bad. We can see that as a bad thing, objectively speaking. You can feel for the people that are in those geographical areas, because remember, wars and invasions, those aren't fought by the people, those are fought by governments. And I can feel certainly for those people in those individual areas, such as in Ukraine. That fucking sucks. But on the other side, the fuck does that have to do with us? And that's not me being, let's say, I don't know, like harsh. I don't think at all. It's just a reality, because them getting involved then escalates the situation. And then that's when y'all's men, young boys, get sent off to fight in this fucking war that'll go on and rage on, and there won't even be a declared winner before 20 years down the line they decide, okay, we're done now. All because of my Ukraine. But is that yet again what you want to enter in? It happens so often. I mean, not so often, but this is why I think there's more to this than meets the eye. Everybody, when you're dealing with governments, geopolitics, is always something that you got to look at it more than just at surface level. Some other bullshit is at play, and they're not gonna sit up there and just fucking tell you. But if nothing else, they are very good at people that generally see getting in war efforts are bad. They're very good at presenting something in a case, in a scenario where then that person will somehow try to justify, let's say in this case, U.S. Government military being involved in those sort of affairs, and they will tug on heartstrings and all of that just to make something like that happen. You know, me personally, I'm not falling for the shit, but do y'all really want to do this? Like, do y'all really want to fucking do this shit again? You've seen it. We've already seen this play out. We're in the social media age of connectivity and all. Do we really want to see this go down yet again? And yeah, I don't think so. I don't fucking think so.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.